Hi, this is Chris again over at 3D Palace, and well, we've got quite a bit of work to do because we've got to copy this leg now. So, what I've got to do is replicate this leg over onto the other side here. And a couple of problems with that are that if we mirror it, it's going to turn into a mess. Mirror, ooh, complicated word to say it this time of night. But if we rotate it, fun enough, all the link constraints will be absolutely fine. Go figure. Now we've already got this here set up. So if I rotate it on the local, I can do that, as you may remember. So if I select all these and then hold down Shift and rotate it by 90 degrees, I'm just going to click cancel and then reselect it because I didn't have angle snap on. Then we should be able to rotate it straight away. Now, I know it's basically part 7 of the tutorial that I'm about to do this, but my good friend Dr. Feelgood on the forums, one of our oldest sponsor members, resent me KeyView, which is something I used on the APU tutorial. Fantastic little tool. So I'm just going to load that up now. So I'm just going to pause a second. Okay, I've got it running now, as you'll see when I do this. See? You can actually see Alt middle mouse button appear there now, so you know what I'm doing. Right, so I'm going to go into my top viewport now, and what I want to do is make sure all that's selected, which it is. Now I'm going to hold Shift, and I'm just going to drag using the left mouse button, 180 degrees, and just let go. It'll rename all the other parts automatically. Now, I'm going to have to move it along, so I'm just going to drag that until it's in the right position. Actually take this one out the way first, I think. There we are. Now I can just drag it using this. There we go. Okay, now back in the perspective. And this is why I like this KeyView utility. It's absolutely brilliant. It was made specifically for the APU set, but I really do like it. Okay, I'm going to reset the X form on that, just to make sure. Okay. Now, I'm going to build the IK for these fellas. So what I'm going to do is use probably a history independent solver to link those two, and then those two, and then I'm just going to use a simple link constraint to link these two to the pelvis. Okay. So, incidentally, if you want to have a look at our schematic view, you can't see it very well, unfortunately. I'll just zoom in a bit. There it is. You can kind of see how messy it is. However, it is actually organised pretty logically, which is ironic. There you go. And eventually this hip, or pelvis, or whatever it is here, pelvis inner, is going to be right at the very top level. And then we're going to have the body at the top and all this kind of business. So, check it over. I always tend to wobble around my model like this when I'm thinking. I don't know if you've noticed that or not. Very on the fly approach, however. So, animation, IK solver, history independent solver, and link it to that leg. What that means is I can do this. Oh yeah. Alright. Now that's funky, yeah? Now what I want to do quickly is do an auto key and just slide that forward like so. Reason being that I want to adjust the rotation on that, because if you look, it's kind of throwing its foot out a bit. So by just doing that, I can delete this. I can delete the keys at 0 frame, and it'll be back in the reset position again. Yeah. Oh yeah, and before I forget, really need to turn this around on the local axis 180 degrees. Now, unless you're blind and living in a box and called Terry, you'll have noticed that this is wrong. So we can flip it just using the magic flip tool, no clone, on the y-axis. And inside there you can see this kind of mess of gears. Press F4, and we can turn those around as well. Except we don't really need to, I don't think. No, we don't. We do, however, need to flip these now because they're facing the wrong direction. So just go down here and click flip, and here. Okay, and oh, that's our leg sorted out. Hurrah! Okay, now, luckily I didn't set up the IK on this side. Well, history independent anyway. So click to there, and that means that this leg's now working too. Now back over here again. Remember we've got our simple loop here, 30 seconds, and I'm going to reduce time down to 30 frames as well. This means that I can now do a little bit of messing around. Now this is what makes files big and makes John upset, so I'll try not to do this for too long. Okay, just stop that a minute. I want to select this and go to my link info, and let's turn off the inheriting on the rotations. Now as you see, that's not doing it right at all. Okay, so I'm going to bring that all the way back. And I'll have to repair that link now, rather irritatingly. Fortunately it won't take me too long. I just paused that a minute while I repaired the IK, because I didn't want to be sitting here all day whilst you watched them and God, he totally balls that up. Okay, and whoops, there. So it's moving back the way it was again. Okay, the one I need to stop rotating, I think, is this bottom one here. So I'll just stop it inheriting on the Z-axis. There we go. Now I'm going to let it inherit on the Y and X, I think. It makes it kind of swing up more at the front if you look. Now I'll take off the Y and X as well. Let's stop it inheriting any rotation. We can manually rotate it if we need to. Okay, now we'll do the same over here. Turn off the Z. And this should mean now that once I rig up this one, because it isn't actually rigged yet, animation IKHI to there we go. When I rig this one up, whee, it'll actually swing the leg backwards and forwards properly. Okay, now I'm just going to select everything and delete those keys. There we go, because I don't want them in the thing anymore. Okay, just go over my model. Now what I need to do is link these two parts to this, so that I can use the hips to kind of throw the legs forward. It's not rocket science, as they say. Link that one to there, and then link that one to there. And that's that. So now, if we go to our H, and look, pelvis inner's right at the very bottom there. See? Everything else is kind of hanging off it. It's really quite a complicated little rig we've got going here now. And the good thing is, of course, that we can literally move it forward. And if you look, it leaves the legs behind. God, I love doing that. Me wanty bouncy, me wanty bouncy. Yay. We'll just check those on here. No, they're fine. Okay, so that was just a simple little thing where we put the kind of rigging in place for this. Now, we need to build some hoses. So I'm going to quickly just load up a reference picture that I've got. There we go. It's quite interesting, you can see in my little key viewer exactly what I'm doing, even if it's off window. So I must remember not to go into my account and use my passwords. I actually did that one time in a tutorial, it was most embarrassing. Okay, now we've got some plugs I need to build. First one's going to be hanging off down here. So I'm going to isolate my model. I think I'll hide it unselected. I'll kind of clean it up a bit. And what I need to do is build a plug that comes off here. Now it's going to be easier really just using a box and using the auto grid tool, so that's exactly what I intend to do. Press F4 while I do it. Seems to be slightly too many segments there for some reason. Let's just reduce that. convert to edit poly, and then click grow, and I'm going to go to edit, select invert, delete, and then chamfer. Actually, I don't want to select the ones on the top either, so I'll just do it this way. There we go. Bring that down a little bit. I'm just going to insert that. Quick connect. Insert my polygon. Just gives us two very minor pieces of detail, but it just kind of breaks the model up a little bit, you know. Yeah. Yeah, avoid putting too many of these things in. I've seen guys who have like done models on 3D Palace and the work in progress forum. It might even be you. You might be listening to this thinking, "Oh, it's talking about me." Don't use too many of these little manual greebles. You don't need that many. You've got to think, what's its function? Why am I doing it? If you're not doing it for any specific reason, just stop. Now, I need a cylinder, which I'm going to build kind of in the middle of this piece, sort of. There we are, start there. And then pull it down to about there. Okay, go bevel it. Now the idea with this is I'll actually want a couple really. That's my cat trying to get to the hamster. I shall just go and move my cat. I won't be a moment. Hang off, you silly cat. Don't try and play with the hamster. This is what happens when you have one of the children's hamsters in your room. Okay, now pull back a bit. There we are, and that will do. Now in here, I want to set up a dummy. And let's see. Helpers, dummy. I'm going to build my dummy object just about here. That way it's literally just inside that. I'll just go to my front viewport and zoom, just so I can check it. I'll kind of centre it up a bit. There we are. And pull back. Now into perspective. And bring it across a bit. And then I'm going to take the entire value lot and I'm going to move one there. And then I'm going to move another one all the way over there. That one needs to be moved back a little bit. There we are. Perfect. Okay. Now, let's see, I need to unhide everything again. Press F4, and I'm going to duplicate these obviously on the other side. So, but I need to work out where these are kind of going. Okay, worked it out now. And let's see. Cylinder, I'm going to build it just about here. Press F4 a moment. I'm going to make it go inside the leg as opposed to outside it. Right click, convert to editable poly. Now, before I do anything actually, I want to change this to local. I'm going to make 3 instances. Sorry, 2 instances. This means now that if I select the top one, pull back a little bit, I can have some beveling fun. There we go. Peasy squeezy. So again, I'm going to create a dummy. Plop it inside there. And I'm just going to make 1, 2 copies. And to stop these being identical anymore, I'm just going to convert that one and that one to editable polys, just to stop being instances. Now, if I go to my front viewport here, I'm going to kind of start grabbing these, so I'm going to do a marquee select there, check I've got multiple selected, and there, there, and there. Now I'm going to mirror, so I seem to have accidentally selected something I didn't want to mirror. Try it again. That's better, with a copy on. And I think I want to copy on the x-axis. No, my bad, I want to copy it on the y-axis. It wasn't the z-axis. Oh god, I don't know anymore. Actually, I'll just rotate them around. Sod it, I'll just do it like I did earlier. Oh no, can't. Oh, it's because I'm doing it on the local. You see, this is what happens when you do stuff kind of on the fly. There we are. Hang on a second, I've got this selected again. Whee! Yeah, this is a bloody local view. I most assuredly do not want to copy these on the local. Now I'll just do a shift, drag, okay. 180 degrees on a rotate. Bloody thing, view. So it's going to be awkward deliberately, isn't it? Group. Ha. Sussed you. Foul little thing. Now I can just move it across. Marvellous how it doesn't fit together. Silly valley thing. Oh, I see, they've completely inversed themselves. Honestly, I despair sometimes. Right. Front viewport. Zoom. Definitely having one of those days now. Oh, no I'm not. It's Tuesday. I like Tuesdays. Okay, got these. I'm going to rotate them. Cancel. There we go. Yeah, just making sure it was all copied properly. So now I'm going to hold shift down when I do it this time. Get it into the right position. There we are. Group. Oops, cancel. Group. Ungroup. And I'll just reset the X forms on these, which gives me a good possibility that these things are going to sod up completely, but it's all part of the fun, you know. Right, they appear to be fine. I'll just check in perspective to make sure they're not inside out or anything. Oh, they are, they're fine. Right, I seem to have lost a load of dummies somewhere. Oh no, there they are. I just couldn't see them. Right, now let's see if we can get this thing working or not then. So I'm going to start over here. And first thing I want to do really is just attach these things, because they don't have to be individual floaty aroundy things. It's just the dummies really I'm interested in. Now, so F4, and go to my dynamics, which is here, and just find where the hell the hose is gone. There it is. So it's an extended primitive, like that. Okay, so drag a big hose like that. Now, I'm going to bind it to object pivots. For my top object, I'm going to pick this box here. My bottom one, I'm going to pick that one there. Oops, hang on. I think I've just unbound it, funnily enough. Just use the select tool, it'll save time. And in actual fact, I think what I'll do is I'll select hose and just the dummies. Hello, what are these cylinders that are loose? Oh, I see, they haven't been attached to anything yet. Hang on. And I think I can probably press F4. Oops, I'll just attach that to it. I'll make sure I haven't buggered up the IK chain completely there. No, good. Right. Now press F4 and attach. There we are. There we go. Now I'll use the select tool like I said. So I'll just select these dummies and the hose. Hide unselected. Right, now we can see what I'm doing slightly easier. There we go, and there's our 6 hoses. I'll just drag those over here. And then we can start with hose number 1. Right, so our top object's going to be that dummy, and our bottom object's going to be that one. Woohoo, look at it twist and turn. Not too bad actually, but I think it needs tension undoing a bit. There we go. Not too much obviously. And reduce those segments. Now, I've got rid of the flex section simply because I can do better and fully intend to. You see, the good thing about a hose is if I just select this, it does that, you know, so you don't need to worry particularly about cloth and stuff like that. Now, possibly release the tension a bit more. It seems to be a bit twisted as well. I'm wondering if there's a way I could untwist it. Let's have a look on the local. Well, there you go. Untwisted too. Now, I suspect that if I open its modifier panel and go down to Edit Poly, select that, ring it, loop it, press F4, and I'm going to not extrude it, chamfer it in. Actually no, I'm going to extrude it. There we go, and do that. Now technically I should then be able to grab this and do that. Yeah, I can. You see? I love being able to do this kind of thing. Right. this one next. Pick top object, we'll have that one. Pick the bottom object, we'll have that one. Now as you see, this one's take off the flex section enable, going to reduce the tension somewhat. Don't really want them to kind of cross over, but sometimes we've got no choice, unfortunately. Now, press F4 so I can see where the twist is. And do the rotate on the local. There we are. Now, what was it on this one that we had on the hose? Let's see, we had 24 segs. So over here we can do it as well, 24 segments. And then slap on an editable poly. And just ring loop and extrude. How much fun is that? I mean, we can even whack on a, what do you call it, mesh smooth or anything else we want really. How about turbo smooth? Look at that. I mean, how cool is being able to do that? I'll give you a clue. Very. Oh yeah. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to take off the turbo smooth. Simply because it's just an unnecessary waste of resources when it comes down to it. It's cool, but it's an unnecessary waste. Okay, you next. Top object, that one. Bottom object, that one. 24 segments. Flex section, do not enable. Reduce the tension accordingly. There's slightly more tension this time. And press F4 and just rotate it out. Fantabulous. Oh, I'm doing the wrong one. Edit. Go. Oh, I see. It's because I'm just selecting the dummy. I'm being a prat. Edit poly. Hello, poly. Ring loop. There we go. So daisy, and that side's done. And pretty damn nice it looks too, by the way. I just thought I'd mention that. Now, over this side. And you should be able to remember this by now. Funny enough, I had a bit of a thing about, maybe I shouldn't repeat myself as much. Maybe people are like, why do you keep repeating to us? I watched a DVD the other week. John got me actually for Christmas. I've watched it a few times. And it's a DVD on making sushi, which is one of my big hobbies. I love making sushi. And the guy, he repeats over and over again. You mould the sushi. You've got to mould the sushi this way. You've got to hold the rice just so, all this kind of thing. And I thought, God, why is he doing it? And in the DVD, he actually shows you how to do it 6 times for the 6 pieces of sushi. And he makes 4 different types of sushi, so he repeats each one 6 times. I was like, why are you doing it that way? And then I went to make some sushi, and I'm like, that's why you do it that way. All made perfect sense. Oops, that's the wrong way. Undo that. The extrusion is supposed to go in, not out. I'm not too much in either. Okay, next. That one. Pick bottom object, that one. Okay, and 24 segs. Now, as you can see, this one's kind of crashing into itself, so I really want to try and reduce the tension as much as possible here. And I might have to swing this one out a little bit. I prefer not to, but unfortunately I think I'm going to have to. Now I'm going to rotate it out. There you go. And edit poly. So anybody thinks that you need to set up a dynamic solution and ropes and stuff, no. Ring loop. Extrude. Now, last one. Top object's that one. Bottom object's that one. Could just leave it like that so it looks like a broken fuel pipe, I suppose, but no. 24 segs. Just reduce that tension a tiny bit, not too much though. That much should do. Now I'm going to rotate it, obviously. Oops, I'm using the wrong one. There we are. And edit poly. Do not collapse this stack under any circumstances, by the way. You'll just make it completely useless. Okay, there we go. Now, believe it or not, these are actually going to move now when we unhide all. So these really incredibly funky looking bloody things here, we're going to link. Actually, these seem a bit wide. I've actually made them too bloody wide. So I think I'm going to have to go down to the hose prim and just check that diameter in a bit. Let's just check the diameter I used actually. I might as well do a copy of it. That way I can do it for all of them. 5, there we go. Uh, 5. I mean I could taper it, but there we go. I'll go on, I can't wait. I've got to. Ugh, they're not linked. Where's its dummies going? I'm sure those dummies are supposed to be linked to that, but they're not moving with them. Interesting. So they're moving, but the hoses aren't. Okay, I'll look into that in a minute. I'm going to bind these anyway. We should have dummy 1, 2, and 3. Select. And they should be connected to that. But as you see, when they move, it's not moving. Okay, so I'm going to pause for a minute to have a think about this. Okay, so we've learned something interesting in the time that has been paused, which was only for a couple of minutes. And that's this. Now watch. This is amusing. Let's see, I'm going to create 3 boxes, yeah? 1, 2, and its friend 3. Now I'm going to create a hose. Oops, not that big. Bound it, so I'm going to pick top object to that one, and I'm going to pick a bottom object to that one. So that means that when we move this one, the hose moves. Now if we bind this to the other geometry, it'll move. If it's dummies, it doesn't. You know what this means? Oh yeah, that's right. So, select this lot. And I'm going to select this lot too. How irritating. Oh yeah, very irritating. Fortunately, I can remember the placement of these. Right click, unhide all. Hide unselected, sorry. Okay, and zoom. Okay, so now I've got our 3 bags of goodness. Now, got to delete all these bloody dummies. There we go. Oh yeah, I'm aware that one's inside out. Such is life. Now, what I need to do is try and remember what I'm doing. Oh yeah. Unhide all. Now I need to hide these bits. Now, in these parts here, which I'm going to just group select like this, and isolate, I'm going to create some boxes. So, standard box cube, and start at the back. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. There we go. Now I've decided to undo this once, simply because we did it loads last time, and frankly it was a pain. It didn't do anything, and had a very, very bad time indeed. So, now they don't even have to be the same size. These are just tools, yeah. Just a place for these things to connect, as it were. Local. There we are. Now, select these. Exit isolation mode. Unhide all. Select those. Not going to bother even selecting those. And hide unselected. Okay, so now we've got this lot. Start with this one then. Hose. Pick the top object, it's going to be that. Pick the bottom object, it's going to be that. There we go. Next one. Pick our top object and our bottom object. Now this one. There we go. And that's about as exciting as that bit got. Unhide all. Now, just going to wipe out that segment completely. And let's see, I just want to grab this half of the model. Now, you may remember those boxes, which we haven't given a particularly interesting name to. F3. Just link it quickly. I don't think I've linked to the correct one actually. Where is it? There it is. There we are. Press F3. Yeah, if I grab this tiny little box and just move it a millimetre, it then joins it. Grrr. Alright, let's move it back. That's what we call sodding irritating. As if I just bring that down like that. That's F3. And just link that to there. Come on, link, damn you. Hey. I get that strange feeling of extreme irritation kind of washing over me now. Okay, go and have another look at it. Right, believe it or not, I've actually found the symptom now, and it was simpler than I thought. It's the fact that it's using an edit poly on top of it. Means that it's having to update itself, apparently. Silly sodding thing. So if I take this away, I'll just leave it a plain hose, it doesn't have a problem with it. You know, and I had this horrible feeling that might actually be the case as well. Ugh, never mind. Now, before we start linking these fellas into infinity, I'll unlink that one. I need to select these and find that box as well. Okay, and that one. Of course, we need to make copies of these. So that we don't have to do the entire sodding process all over again. Okay, so unhide all. Front viewport zoom. View. And let's see. Will it let us copy it on a different axis? Sort of. Sort of, as long as you don't mind it going mad like that. So we'll just cancel that idea really. So just drop it in perspective and zoom out. And of course our choices are either copy it or there. I'll just copy it, shift and drag. Oops. There we go. Bring them over to there. I said bring them over to there, dang that. Doesn't particularly matter where they go actually, because I've got to build the attachments over this side for them anyway. Now, whilst I'm thinking about it, I'm going to delete the edit poly on these, because as I've explained, we've now worked through our problems with these. And grab, hide unselected. Now I can start building my boxes. Oops. AutoGrid appears to have turned itself off. Naughty AutoGrid. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, you can give them amusing names if you want, but frankly I just can't be buggered at the moment. Sod it. Right. Select tool, press F4. Oops, see what I mean? That's why you do it. So you can see what you're bloody selecting. Hide unselected. There we go. That just leaves us these ones. Now, let's start with this one, because this looks like a hose 1. 6, 5, 4. Okay, we'll start with hose 4 then. Top object and bottom object. Groovy. This one. I've noticed these are a bit screwed over with the boxes, so I'm going to have to edit those a bit. Make sure it's on the local one. There we are. Okay, pull back. Now this one. Top and bottom. See all this effort we've gone to, but it's paying off, so that's what matters. Now, whilst I think about it, which I do, might as well make these buggers invisible. There we are. Select. Right click, properties, not renderable. There we go. Can make them big as I want now and I want to see them. Hehe. Okay, unhide all. Now, next part, I'm just going to selectively hide a few bits here that I don't need knocking around particularly. Hide selection. F4. Firstly, this gives me an option to go over here and select these buggers. I'm kind of tired. I'm starting to call everything a bugger now. Okay, these are not renderable. Now, these three, chink, ka-chink, ka-chink, are linked to here. These three are linked to that. What did I just link them to? Just undo that. I want to link them to that. There we are. So I think I just linked them to the dummy by mistake. These three little tinies here, as I say, the size of the bucket of the blooming things doesn't matter. And link to that. And this one to that. Okay, unhide all. Press H. Right, so only the hoses now aren't linked, and that hardly matters particularly. Right, proof pudding tasting delicious. Ah, there we go. And the hoses doth move. This will be the real tester. Oh yeah. It's a minute angle they're moving at, but they are moving. And that is what matters. Especially if I do that. Oh yeah, now I'm a happy cookie. Oh, fantastic. Woof, woof. Right, now I'm happy, and I hereby declare this part of the tutorial over. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next part.